Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Glad you were with us. We have joining us Dr. John Weil. He's MTSU political science professor. He is talking about what President Biden said last week, basically mandating vaccines for most American workers. What are your thoughts on that? That's what we are talking about. And also getting his thoughts on how that might work and whether that's even legal and just kind of where we go from here. Up in New York, they are requiring the city proof of vaccination is required for workers and customers for indoor dining, for gyms, for performances, and other indoor situations. Enforcement does not begin until September 13th, so I guess it has just begun. So what do you think of that? Do you think we may be headed toward that? That's a pretty strict policy. What do you think of that, Professor?
Well, let's put it in a larger context. There's probably greater authority at that level than there is at the presidential level. I mean, traditionally, states and localities have exercised what are known as state police powers, and they include public welfare, health, safety, and the like. So that's probably less legally problematic. And do understand there's a restraint there, which is if these are perceived by the population as simply being arbitrary, then you're going to get feedback. People are not going to be reelected. And I can give you an example of this. You know, several months back, there were regulations that states were imposing on businesses and on churches. And in some cases, they were imposing much heavier restrictions, at least in my view, on gatherings in churches than they were elsewhere. And the courts came in and said, you know, you got to treat comparable entities comparably. You know, if an auditorium with 1,000 can seat 1,000 people, and you know that means 350 with social distancing, then you got to give that church the same right that another, you know, that a concert hall would have or a casino would have with a similar number of people. So that, you know, there are some guides at the local level, and you know our politics are largely premised on the idea that, you know, local people should have a voice, and that's why I'm as opposed to governors stepping in and telling people what they can and cannot do as I am the president. At least the president is dealing with, you know, employees.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. All right, let's go to some more calls here. Let's go to Tony. Hello, Tony.
Yes, thank you for taking the call. It's very important.
You're welcome. Go right ahead.
I want to ask the doctor now, during the 1919 crisis, these churches and these religious organizations, they joined together to fight this plague. Now, it's a problem. My son is a spiritual gospel singer. He's been to about 40 funerals because he sang at a lot of these funerals. Some give him money, some don't. Prominent people give him money, like Thelma Harper, for instance. But the family is banking on the name just to get him in there. But then when he go, especially these funeral homes, the doctor's not talking about. I went to these funeral homes to visit people. They don't require them to wear no mask, and everybody's right up under each other. And something is wrong with this if you're not in a funeral home with people crowded. And I got out of there. I don't even want to go in the door when I see that. But I want to ask the doctor why we got a bad mayor, we got a bad governor. If you're not trying to resolve this problem for the people, you're supposed to be elected to serve the people. And when is this thing going to be over with? Because these school teachers have not sanitized these rooms while my children work and my nephews and nieces and relatives work. When this classroom leaves out, another classroom comes in. But the teachers are not sanitized. You got this big school teachers union protecting these teachers, and the doctor's not talking about that. There's a lot of critical things going on out here on the ground. If everybody just come to unity in one place, we can get this thing resolved. And I hope and pray I'm going on with the Lord. I'm not going on with no politician. And we can get this thing done. This is not some evil catastrophe the Lord put on everybody. But some of these churches are preaching, I'm going with the Lord. And they don't get they don't get the shot like Valentine's. And a lot of them have died and waiting on the Lord to come and save them. So this doctor, these leaders have failed these people. They failed us bad.
All right.
I don't understand it being a veteran.
All right, Tony, thank you. Thank you. You hear the frustration from Tony. He says fail of leadership. He identified about every elected official, but failure of leadership.
Some that weren't.
Yeah, he's identifying everybody. He obviously is concerned by the virus. We'll hear others that feel differently than he does, but he says a failure of leadership. What do you think?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time in history. You know, if you read the biblical prophets, they accuse the shepherds of fleecing the sheep, and that sometimes continues to this day. You know, I view, you know, I'm a person who of faith, and I view getting a vaccine, wearing a mask as an act of, you know, doing unto others, you know, protecting others as I would want to be protected myself. I do share Tony's concern. I have been to a number of funerals myself, or viewings, where, you know, I went in and saw the situation, you know, signed the book and, you know, waved to people as well as I could, but just did not feel safe, you know, particularly before I was able to get the shots in that environment. And of course, the funeral homes, I'm sure, you know, they're like other businesses. They're probably going largely by what the family has mandated. But I'm sort of with him. You know, it seems terribly ironic to think that you might go to a funeral home and catch something that would kill you.
Let's go to more calls here. Let's go to Ernest. Hello, Ernest.
No.
You're going to have to turn down your TV. Go ahead, turn down your TV, Ernest, and tell us your comment here, or your question.
Yeah. I think that the president was 100% right on getting these federal people vaccinated, those first responders, those people that's out in the public all the time, and to get the federal workers and these other companies that want this vaccination. Now listen, my oldest son and my ex-wife and my daughter don't want this vaccination, but now my daughter's got COVID. So what do you tell them? I think it's idiotic for people not to get this vaccination that can, because it cures, it helps, it at least keeps people from getting deathly sick.
Ernest, thank you. I'm going to take one more quick call. Betty, can you share your thoughts pretty quickly?
Yes, sir. Ben, you made the comment about Democrat or Republican. Would you take it if Trump was president? Would you take it if Biden's president? Well, I saw Kamala Harris on a TV interview saying just that she would not take the vaccine just because he said that it was good to take. And they asked her, do you trust that? And she goes, no, I would not. Kamala Harris said that. Now, I think all of this is politically motivated. I did get the vaccine because I live with a person over 65. And so I thought that was in our best interest. But I believe in personal choice. I believe it's their choice. If you want the vaccine, get it. If you don't. You know the consequences if you don't. You know the consequences if you do. I go into a Kroger store, Walmart, dollar store, wherever in Tennessee. It don't bother me. You got a mask on, I'm going right past you, getting my beans or my macaroni, buying it, and going out. It don't faze me a bit. That's your choice. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If it makes you feel good, wear it. But I believe in personal choice.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Betty, thank you. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come right back after this break.